Yeah, so I'm starting to feel like I'm sounding like a broken record here. The European Space Agency has confirmed a second major data breach within the last 2 weeks. Scattered Lapsus hunters announced that they've stolen over 500 gigabytes of sensitive information from the ESA, including operational procedures for different types of spacecraft, mission details, and all sorts of proprietary documents. The group, which by the name of it sounds to be a combination of Lapsus, Scattered Spider, and the Shiny Hunters, they stated that they exploited a vulnerability that dated back to September 2025 that was never patched, which then allowed them access back into the ESA systems. This is only 2 weeks after another hacking group graciously shared about 200 gigabytes of ESA data on dark web forums. In that breach, they leaked source code, API tokens, and credentials from external science servers. Now, ESA, of course, has rushed to reassure everyone that the breaches were limited to unclassified systems outside their core network. Nothing to see here, right? Meanwhile, I can't help but to wonder about the minor detail of their supply chain partners. Partners like SpaceX, Airbus, Thales. Yeah, they might have a thing or two to worry about now. Anyways, the agency is cooperating with authorities and emphasizing improved cyber hygiene among their staff. And frankly, that's a pretty weak response if you ask me. This feels like they're placing more blame on their users instead of keeping their systems patched and up to date. I don't know about you, when it comes to space exploration, these breaches suggest that maybe, just maybe, better cybersecurity controls should be a priority instead of blaming your users. Just saying. Moving on. Sunday night, Iran had their own Max Headroom moment, okay? Instead of a guy with a mask ranting and raving and getting spanked on the ass with a fly swatter, it was hacktivists trying to add fuel to the fire and promote a political revolution. I like to call that progress. So, anyways, amid ongoing anti-government protests, hackers were able to take over Iran's state TV satellite feed. They were able to briefly broadcast messages of Reza Pahlavi, the exiled son of Iran's last Shah. He called on security forces to join the nation and stop pointing weapons at the people. Now, while this hack didn't steal any data, it still goes to show the power of psychological warfare. The Iranian government, who already has their hands full killing protesters and blacking out the internet, is probably trying to figure out, how their channels were compromised and figure out how to control the flow of information. And good luck with that, fellas. If anything, this has taught us that once hackers are pissed off and figure out how to mess with your broadcast signals, it's only going to get worse from there. All right, my last story of the day. It looks like international law enforcement scored a big win against Black Basta. For those of you wondering who or what Black Basta is, they're a notorious ransomware group blamed for attacking over 600 victims worldwide since 2022. They've extorted hundreds of millions of dollars from businesses, hospitals, and other organizations across North America, Europe, and beyond. Anyway, authorities from Ukraine, Germany, and other countries have identified key members of the ransomware group. In coordinated raids, Ukrainian police arrested 2 individuals believed to be Black Basta hash crackers. Essentially, these are the guys with the big boxes full of GPUs that they use to crack hashed passwords. Once they've successfully cracked the passwords, they can then use them to break into systems. Investigators also publicly named the gang's alleged mastermind, Oleg Nefedov, I think. Anyway, he's a 35-year-old Russian national who's now been added to the EU's most wanted list and issued an Interpol red notice. That just basically means he's subject to arrest in over 200 countries now. Now, as of now, Nefedov remains at large. He's reportedly holed up in Russia, so I don't think he'll be going anywhere anytime soon. But hey, exposing his identity is a big step. So that wraps up today's stories, folks. This is Andy Thompson signing off.